The first thing that hit me was a smell. Damp wood, rust, a faint rot masked under detergent, as if someone had tried and failed to scrub away guilt. Then I heard it. A cough, the faint clink of a chain against concrete. I followed the sound down the narrow hall and found her, my daughter. She was thinner, her face pale, eyes hollow. Too hollow for the girl I had once known. Her wrist was cuffed to a pipe. A blanket, damp and filthy, draped across her knees. When she saw me, she whispered a single word, "Dad." My hand shook as I reached for the lock, for the chain, but she pulled back, voice ragged, "Help my son first." Her son, my grandson. I froze. "He's gone," I said, my voice breaking. They told me he was dead. Her head turned slowly, eyes wide, desperate. Then I saw it. The faint outline of a small handprint, smeared on the inside of the cellar wall. Fresh, small, alive. My stomach turned to ice. The world had told me my grandson was buried months ago. A car accident, they said. Closed casket. My daughter too broken with grief to even speak at the funeral. I had accepted it because grief blinds. Sometimes it's easier to believe a lie than to peel back the skin of truth. And now, the lie was standing in front of me, shaking in chains. Why here? Why my son-in-law's house? I searched her face for answers, but she turned away, lips trembling. Shame lived there. Fear lived there. Betrayal not hers, his. The man she had trusted. The man who smiled at me, called me Dad, poured drinks while hiding this dungeon beneath his roof. I wanted to storm upstairs, tear through his world, drag him down into the pit he had built. But rage without strategy is noise, and I needed silence. I began to watch, to listen. The boy was here somewhere. I heard footsteps too light to be a man's. Whispers at night when my son-in-law left the house. I found a small shoe tucked beneath a floorboard, a scrap of paper with a child's handwriting. Help us. I studied my son-in-law as though he were a specimen, his schedule, his calls, his lies. He left early, returned late, always careful, always controlled. But his eyes betrayed him. Flickers of paranoia when conversation drifted too close. Hesitation when I mentioned the boy's name. I dug through his records. Bank withdrawals that didn't match his salary. Transactions tied to places where children vanish, never to return. Night after night, I pieced it together. My daughter's cough echoing in my skull. He hadn't lost the boy. He had hidden him. And the reason I already knew. Cruelty is never random. It is chosen, practiced, perfected. The truth came in a folder, slid across a table like rot always does. Photos, dates, proof. My son-in-law wasn't just hiding my grandson. He was selling him, leasing him like property to men who paid to destroy innocence in the dark. When I confronted my daughter with the evidence, her silence was worse than screams. She had already known. She stayed quiet out of fear, trapped under chains heavier than steel. That night, I walked into his kitchen, file in hand. He looked up, startled, whiskey halfway to his lips. I placed the folder on the table. His face drained. He searched for anger, for shouting, for a fist, but I gave him nothing. Nothing but silence. Silence is a mirror. He saw himself in it and began to break. I didn't call the police. Not yet. I let him live with it first. The knowing, the waiting, the slow collapse of the walls he had built around his secret life. Every day he watched me. Every night he wondered when the hammer would fall. His hands shook. Sleep grew shallow. Drinking heavier. I set my daughter free. I found a hidden room where my grandson lay curled beneath a blanket, alive but silent, eyes too old for his years. When my son-in-law saw them both gone, he knew. I didn't speak. I didn't have to. I left the file on his bed, every page of his sins, staring back at him. Then I walked away, taking with me the 2 souls he thought he owned. 2 days later, the police stormed his house. They found him there, rope around his neck, file still open on the bed. The world called it suicide. I called it justice. I watched my daughter hold her son again, bodies trembling against each other. No words could fix what he had broken. No gesture could erase the rot. But survival is its own revenge, and I had given them that. As for me, I felt no triumph, only the hollow calm of a storm spent. Because when you peel back the skin of family, you don't always find blood. Sometimes you find chains. And when chains break, someone always hangs in their place.